What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and this is Automobilista Beta, where today we're going to be doing a 20-minute race against the AI here from Salvador, starting in 10th position from a standing start. First corner is a tight left-right-left chicane, which involves curb hopping, and it's always a mess. Generally, a single file or standing start makes it a little bit smoother. But more importantly, we are driving the newly released triple thumbs up, seal of approval, Kart Extreme mod, which this mod adds in the cars and stars of the 1998 Champ Car season. And like I said, first turn mess. There you go, get after it. Get after it, yeah. But late 90s Champ Cars, otherwise known as my personal favorite, and I should probably be your favorite too, because it's probably not ever going to get much better than this. You got 900 horsepower, difficult to drive, tires that are sticky but not super sticky, cars that can be driven sideways a little bit. You got downforce, but not so much downforce, you're just, you know, pulling away from the corner with no challenge at all. Yeah! Plus, I mean, because of what they are, which is, you know, late 90s Champ Cars, they just look amazing. Like, honestly, in my opinion, there's never been a better looking wings and slick tired open wheel race car than these things. And there never will be. Well, at least at this rate. Sorry, Delara, I'm going to let you finish, but stop making cars that are so ugly. I'm not just talking about the DW12 either. Which I know we all love to hate on that one, but hey! For some of my longer term viewers, you might remember I did this video already. I did it in Stock Car Extreme with the Stock Car Extreme version of the mod. Here from the same track. And that is intentional, that is by design. I've set everything up to hopefully work as much the same as it did in that video. And the reason is pretty simple. That way there's a A-B point of comparison between the two. And there's something logged, and there's, you know, a commentary, a video to go with it as well. Alright, we should have them. Always want to be careful that you don't hit your teammate. Yep. Even in virtual racing against robots, they're stupid. Plus, as well as the fact that, besides the fact that there's just a point of comparison then, this is one of my favorite combinations around. Unfortunately, Riza Studios said they wouldn't make Surfer's Paradise when I asked them about it for the community track voting. Instead, we got VIR, which was definitely not a bad thing at all. But, in lieu of a quality Surfer's Paradise, I guess this will have to do. This is in Ribeiro Prado, as well as some of the other, third-party tracks or street circuits. Need more street circuits. Just saying. No! I don't know if we hit the wall there, but it was really close if we didn't. Now, as for the differences between Stock Car Extreme and Automobilista, and relating to this content specifically, really the main thing is the platform itself rather than the mod. You know, here in Automobilista, you have things like the track usage state, which, you know, the track rubbers up on the racing line as the race goes on. We do have acceleration turned on, which is why it's so noticeable here. But you have that, which wasn't available in Stock Car Extreme. In terms of the game itself, the physics now run at a higher, refresh rate in Automobilista, which I think is a difference that people aren't really talking about enough. And I think it's one of those things where that's the big difference between Stock Car Extreme and Automobilista. Everything, drives very much the same, but at the same time, it is very much different. Shortcut. Y'all didn't see that. But basically, it, in simple terms, it's kind of like playing at a higher refresh rate, a higher frame rate. You see more things in between the big things, more or less. You feel more things in between the big things. Somebody's going to take that totally out of context there, but what can I do? So really, you can feel the car spends more time in transition between, understeer, oversteer, neutral handling and all that. Makes it a little bit easier to balance the car on the throttle. And just really changes the feeling all around, even though it is very much the same. Scrape the wall. Do have damage turned on, but it's at a lower level. Just that way I can continue on with the video. For my own frustration. But that difference, though, in the refresh rate, in my opinion, is clear-cut the biggest change from Stock Car Extreme to Automobilista, and I think it's the biggest source of improvement between the two titles. Although, again, I'm not seeing anybody really talking about it, which is kind of strange. But especially in a car like this, it's really pretty noticeable because, you're going to get into the power too hard. You're going to get sideways. It's part of the driving experience of these cars. You're going to have to fight it. You're going to have to put your man pants on. And when it happens, it's definitely very savable in Stock Car Extreme. But here it's, even more controllable. That isn't to say they've dumbed down the physics like oftentimes you hear people say when something gets easier in sim racing. But, like I said, it feels the same, but it feels different. And I just figured I had to throw that in there because I haven't really done any Automobilista videos, and I know some people have been asking me about it, so that's really what you need to know. Although in all likelihood, I will say I will probably be doing a video for each chassis in this mod, because I like this mod so much. You have to be very careful, though. It's easy to be very aggressive, and then next thing you know, 10 laps into the stint, like right where we are now, your tires are just toasted, and you're just sliding all over the place. And I think I might be overheating the brakes, actually, because I didn't check the brake duct. Which, speaking of which, that's been kind of something of discussion on the forums regarding this version of the mod. People have been saying there's too much engine braking. And I will say it does kind of feel like the brakes are a little bit too ineffective. And it does seem very difficult to lock them. For example, if you look at my pedal travel there in the right-hand corner of your screen, you'll see I'm often just mashing the brakes. pretty hard on the brakes. And yes, I'm running a full downforce configuration here. I have added even more downforce over the baseline default, but when you get into these little corners where downforce isn't as prevalent, it does seem kind of a little bit strange. And people on the forums have been talking about how much engine braking there is, and they've been saying that it's too much, and I think it does kind of seem, like I kind of have alluded here too, is the brakes are kind of a little bit ineffective, it does seem like, and the best way to slow the car is with the gearbox. But then I'll also say, as someone who's probably a little bit more familiar with, the racing back then, than, some of the people who maybe aren't as much into it, there were a heck of a lot of gearbox failures back in the day, which, it really makes me think people were being very aggressive with it, as well as the fact that engines used to explode regularly. So I think it is kind of a little bit overdone, but at the same time, I don't necessarily think it's too big of a problem. It's certainly not something that's going to stop me from enjoying the mod. But they've already said that, they'll go ahead and look into it, and if any improvements can be made, they will be doing that for a future refresh of this mod. So that's good news to hear. No man's land here. But as for the mod itself, really the big things, besides some physics updates, which, obviously, given it's the first version of the mod for, a heavily updated platform, it's kind of tough to say what that really means. But there's been new sounds, improved sounds. I'll go ahead and shut up here in a moment and let you guys listen. New in-car displays on all the cars, although in particular the biggest differences are visible on the Swift chassis here that I'm driving, specifically the Newman Haas Swift, which has a different display than the Della Penna Swift, in case you are wondering. But besides that, it's really, pretty much the same. And that's really all it needed to be, because Kart Extreme rocks. All of a sudden, they're just gone, man. Can't keep up with that. So I'm going to go ahead and shut up here, let you guys listen to the sounds. case you're wondering, though I think it should be pretty clear, these tires, they're shot. Which I am using the soft compound tires. There is a hard compound available. Which, considering the fact that we're not even really through a stint, I'd either need to really change my driving style here and be not so aggressive with the right foot, or switch to the harder compound tires, which is probably what I would suggest. At least if you're going to drive like a loony, like I am. So, your mileage may vary. Still a heck of a lot of fun. I just wish there were more period street circuits available. I mean, come on, man. Surfer's Paradise, it needs to be a thing. And I mean a good version, not that crappy, god-awful conversion that's out there that's like 10 miles wide. Seriously. Okay, that's just me personally ranting there, but best street circuit ever. Look at we were gaining on them, and then all of a sudden they're just like rocket fuel. So I guess, you know, looking at the display there, I mean, that's only half a second off of our best lap. And while the tires are shot, I mean, only half a second off of our best lap, and we were closing on them, so how are they pulling away so fast? The answer is, of course, I have the AI set up too high, too much of a difficulty, but always a heck of a lot of fun just to drive these things. Regardless of where you finish, it's the challenge and the satisfaction. I do feel like the tires have kind of come back around a little bit, so maybe they just overheated them a little bit. Which, given the way we're driving, would not be surprising. Not very good through there. Then again, when I did this video for Stock Car Extreme, I wrecked out, not because of really anything other than just not keeping up my concentration. Which is really, really difficult to do in these cars. It's just so easy to get complacent, and then next thing you know, you're just braking slightly too late, and you're gonna have a bad time. Turning in too late there. Just not staying in the groove. Yeah, I'm pretty certain I need to open up the brake duct a bit more. That's a setup issue. Once you overheat the brakes, obviously they become less effective. Which, that coupled with the tires becoming a little bit worn out, that's why we're starting to overshoot the corners. A good driver would actually compensate for that, but hey, what do I know? I just know the things that you're supposed to do. Doesn't mean I actually do them. Do as I say, not as I do, right? Although, in the case of driving kart extreme at Salvador, I guess you can't really go wrong with that. No! Although, fortunately, we didn't stall it. Oh, man! Oh, man. Just fail, fail, fail. A little bit more fail. And on top of that, just some more fail. Although somehow we managed to spin twice on the same lap on a street circuit and not hit anything. I guess I'll take it, right? One more lap. So let's make it a good one. At least try to. Doesn't mean I will. That's a very deceptive split time right there. Hey, yeah, you were fastest. Partly because you went through the corner like 80 miles an hour faster, but you had 0 exit speed. But hey, you were faster. Yeah, these brakes, these tires, the whole thing. The whole thing, J-U-N-K, junk, junk, junk. It's over. It's toasted. And I just now hit everything on the track within the last like 3 minutes. Seriously, these cars on the street circuit, they are mentally draining. It sounds totally silly, it's a video game, but it's just difficult to keep your concentration that high for so long. So, that said, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Alright, bye.